Making sure that your tracks get properly registered to you as the writer so that you can earn your writer share is crucial, necessary, fundamental to you earning income and royalties in the TV film licensing business. So if you want to make sure that you earn royalties and that the correct tracks are assigned to you, you need to watch this video, okay? Super critical, important, very simple. This is not rocket science. This is very easy to do, but I am blown away by how many times I hear these horror stories of producers that have turned in a full album of tracks to a library, never double checked on the registration process, and the wrong writer got attributed to that album, or the tracks just never got registered and there were placements accruing and the royalties were not being distributed to the writer. So after you've been accepted by a music library and they've gone through and registered your tracks, I'm going to show you right now in this video how to double check on your end, whether you're with BMI or ASCAP. Now, I know some of you are watching are outside of the US and you might have a different PRO. I cannot speak for every single PRO and their website. If there's an online search tool for that, you need to be in contact with your local PRO chapter and ask them about the registration process, how you can search that. They might have to do it with you over the phone, via email, whatever that process is. But for this video, if you're currently a writer with either ASCAP or BMI, we're gonna show you exactly how to do this. And you're gonna see how easy it is, but I wanna stress to you how important this is for you to do. Now, after you've submitted a track, or let's say a group of tracks to a library, they don't instantly drop everything they're doing and immediately register your tracks. Usually it takes a couple of weeks, sometimes it can even be a couple of months. What you need to do is, if it's been a couple of months and you don't see your tracks showing up, always be in communication with your library, okay? Always email them, ask them, call them, however it is that your communication works with them. Ask them this very fundamental golden question. What is your registration process like? In fact, you should be asking that question when you first get in contact with a library, when you're first negotiating your licensing contract and getting under paperwork with them so that you can start working with them consistently. Ask them so you can set your expectations on day one. How long does it usually take? Is it a month? Is it 2 months? Every library is different. Some of them will batch a group of albums together to upload. Others will do them by the end of the week. So you just need to make sure that you are aware of what their process is. But this is a industry that is run by human beings, and guess what? Human beings makes mistakes. Sometimes things fall through the cracks. Sometimes somebody who is supposed to register tracks doesn't do it right, doesn't do it at all, whatever. Okay, so this is on you. It's your career, so you ultimately have to take responsibility for that. Okay, let's start with BMI. I'm a current BMI writer, so I'll show you how I do this pretty much every month. I do this at least once or twice. So you just go to bmi.com. I have the URL right up there, just bmi.com. If you're a BMI writer, you can check this out. You see this little box up here. It says search site or repertoire. You want to click inside of that. You don't want to type anything in here and click this search box. You will not get to where you want to go, okay? You need to click on it and you'll see this pop-up that says search BMI repertoire. This is what you need to click, okay? This little gray box with the red text, okay? Once you click on that, this is as simple as it is, okay? You can basically search through all these different methods for how to find a track that's been registered through BMI. Now, here's what you need to do though. To make it fast and simple for you, don't search for the title or anything like that. Search for the songwriter/composer. So you drop down this little box, songwriter/composer. And yes, this is where you're gonna put in your name, okay? So I'll just go ahead and type in my last name right there. And you do have to click this accept, that there are terms of service of looking online and all that stuff. And there's actually a lot of people with my same last name. You're probably going to find this as well. There are, I don't know how many, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people that have registered and signed up with either BMI or ASCAP. And you're actually going to see on this database, you're going to see people from ASCAP and from other PROs as well. So it's not just going to show the BMI writers, okay? It is only going to show you the tracks that are registered with BMI, but you will see actually almost every pretty much writer that's ever been associated or affiliated with a PRO in this database. So there's a lot of people, 7 billion people on planet Earth. You're going to see a lot of people. So just make sure you get the right person, okay? And obviously I know mine. I've been looking at this for ages, and I luckily have the only one with my middle name, so I know how to find mine instantly, and I know my CAE IPI number by heart. So what you do is you're going to click on your name, and right here is where all the tracks that have been registered to you in the BMI system will show up. Okay, some of them they're going to show up as cue sheets, as cues for some programs or TV shows that have been done. Others I'll go a little bit further on. I know I have a lot of these that have this prefix. I have to go really far down before we get into other sides of the alphabet. And here it comes. So you can see that I have all these different track titles here. Chill Odyssey, chord chopping, chugging along, etc., etc. So these are all tracks that I've done over the course of my, I think it's now been 7 years that I've been with BMI. I was with ASCAP before for the first couple of years of my career. So what you need to do is, let's say you've submitted 10 songs to this library. Those 10 songs should show up here. You should see all of those 10 songs showing up. And then you just click on one. I'll just click on Cold Determination, any track there. And what you should see, this is the important part where it says songwriter, composer. You should see if you are the only songwriter there, it should just be your name and your current affiliation, okay? If you split the song, you co-wrote it with somebody, you should see 2 names there. If there were 3 people involved, you should see those 3 people, okay? So this is what you should be seeing. Most of you, though, will be seeing just yourself as a songwriter composer. This is crucial that this is showing up there. And the publisher, sometimes you'll have one publisher if it's the music library themselves doing everything. Sometimes in this situation, there's a couple of different entities that are involved that are sort of splitting up the publishing side of things. So that can be varied from different library to different library or different outlet that you're getting your tracks distributed through. But for you, this is the important thing, that your writer share is showing up there. This is how you make sure that it's good. So if you have those 10 tracks, they're all showing up and it's showing you as the songwriter, boom, you're good. Okay, you've done your due diligence, you've made sure that your tracks are registered, and if you do start accumulating placements with those tracks, they will get credited to you. If you're not listed there, if your tracks are not registered to you, there's no way for those royalties to find you. You know, there's no osmosis, spiritual, psychic ability out there for them to understand or just know where the track came from. There has to be metadata associated. There has to be a proper registration with your track. This is what the library will be doing for you for the most part. They're going to be taking care of this, but it's your job to double check that, okay? So let's go ahead and go over to ASCAP. It's very quick, very easy. So you go to ascap.com. Right on the homepage, you're going to see on the left, there's this pull down bar. It says repertory. And you're just going to, right off the bat, it's just going to show you the search box up here. So you can do the title just like you could do with BMI, but we don't want to mess with the title because otherwise you're going to have to type in 10 different titles for all your 10 different tracks. Save yourself all the time. Go over here to the right side where it says performer, click on writer. It's not going to show songwriter or composer, but just writer. Same thing. We're going to put in our name. You can put in your full name, last name. Sometimes, you might have to put in different combinations to try to get yours to show up. For me, I always just put my last name. And of course, there I am, but lots of different people. Now, again, I'm not an ASCAP writer. I've had some tracks registered with them, and you're going to see that they're still here being represented by ASCAP, but I am now with BMI. But as you can see here, it shows me as a BMI member. Actually, I don't know if you can see that. There you go. It shows me as a BMI member. Okay, so it will show your current affiliation, but it's not going to show you all the tracks that are registered with BMI if you're a BMI writer, right? It's just going to show you the tracks that have been registered under ASCAP. And as you can see, I only have about 180 here. So this is what I just got started with in the industry when I was, it was 2008, 2010, something like that. It's a couple of years. So this is what I was cranking out the first couple of years. And same thing. So you're going to have all the track titles. It's all alphabetical. I didn't mention that in the BMI, but it's the same thing. So you can basically go through alphabetically and find where you want to, look for your track. And the same thing, you're going to basically see right here on the front, you don't have to even go anywhere, that whatever your, let's say the Brighter Days was the track you were looking for, it says right here, there's one writer and it's me, okay? The track title is there, I am showing up as the writer. If I'm the only writer, then I'm good. I've done my due diligence. I know that I'm going to be getting my royalties for that track if it gets placed. What are some red flags? Well, what if another writer shows up with you and you did not co-write that song and there's no understanding, you didn't sign any agreements that you were going to give up a portion of your writer share. Somebody's just kind of coming in there and sneakily throwing themselves into the writer share. Definitely has happened. I've heard of these things happening. Again, welcome to planet Earth. People, if people can try to get away with things, a lot of times they will try. And there are sometimes sharks out there where they'll try to do that. If you find that happens with a library you're working with, usually it's a good sign to get out of there, okay? If they're doing sneaky stuff like that where they're slipping in their writers, not letting you know about it, and then just kind of hoping that you don't find this stuff out. That's why it's, there's a lot of part about this business about PROs that's not transparent, which I wish were more transparent, but at least this is one thing that everybody publicly can go look up and find. And you need to make sure you're doing this so that somebody isn't accidentally or intentionally taking your royalties away from you, the stuff that you really deserve, because I know you guys work hard for your music. And this is those a small little thing that I know you guys put hours and hours and hours into your music, your blood, sweat, and tears. So don't sort of like get 2 feet from the finish line and then give up on the due diligence that you should do in order to earn the money and earn the royalties on all that work that you guys put into it. This is the kind of stuff that you guys need to make sure that you're doing. Again, I do it once or twice a month, depending on how active I am with libraries at that current time. But I'm usually cranking out tracks every single week, so I want to make sure that things are sort of lining up and being attributed to me. And this gets more and more complicated as you start to work with maybe 2 or 3 different libraries, and you're constantly cranking out tons and tons of new music on a consistent basis. It's something you do need to make sure, set a reminder for yourself, make a ritual of it to do your due diligence to say, okay, I know that these 5 tracks were accepted by library A. Let's go ahead and make sure that they're there. If they're not, and the library has told you, hey, we usually get our tracks registered within a month or 2, and it's been 3 months, that warrants an email, a phone call, something, okay? I don't recommend you come to them with an accusatory tone, claiming that they're trying to rip you off or something like that. It more than likely is just a mistake. It's just an error, an oversight, okay? Or they're just bogged down with a whole bunch of projects and they cannot register tracks immediately. And so that definitely is something that happens as well. So just come out with a sort of open curiosity about what the process is, where these tracks are in the process. And if they're worth their weight for you, if it's a legit company and it's somebody that's actually going to take you seriously, they'll get back to you within the week, hopefully within a couple of days, maybe even within the day. That'd be ideal. But they will not blow that off, okay? If they do blow you off and don't respond to you and just, whatever, we'll get back to you, just calm down, chill out, give you that kind of a response, again, another real big potential red flag that they're not taking you seriously, or there's something more nefarious going on behind the scenes and they're not registering tracks properly. So, when you get into this business, in the TV film business, you are your own boss, okay? There's no longer somebody else you can point to say, well, how come that guy didn't do what he was supposed to do? How come they didn't, the reason why this isn't working out is because they screwed up. At the end of the day, it's on you. You have to take that responsibility to double check this stuff. Yes, the library will be registering it, but guess what? Again, you have to double check and make sure that it gets attributed to you as the writer. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much. I don't want to hear any more horror stories about this stuff after putting this video together. I want to make sure that you guys are all aware of this. So please take that time and do that. Leave a like below if you found this useful, entertaining, whatever it is. Subscribe. I do 2 new videos every single week. Really good, valuable content all about the sync licensing business. So if you're new here, welcome. And I do also encourage you to go through my free 5-day course, which I link below all of my videos. It'll walk you through the ins and outs of this process. So if you're brand new to this side of the business and you don't know how to get started, that 5-day course will absolutely get you through it. And again, 100% free. So do enjoy and participate in that if you'd like to. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.